Holiday traffic got you down? Crowded stores? Preparing for house guests? All the baking and all the cooking? Are you stressed out? Overwhelmed? These are all things you should be able to enjoy. Treat yourself. Don't beat yourself. Give yourself the gift of staying calm so you can enjoy the holidays. Take time out for a session for Christmas Calm Down Special. Book now at awakeninghearts333.com. Hello, and welcome to the Authentic Happiness Show. I'm Susie, and this is Jara. And this is Enzo joining us.
Hello.
What up?
Hello. Oh,
Hello, everybody in the chat. Hello.
Eyebrows. Sorry.
So we say hello to Bat Mom, hello to Appalachian Tales of Terror, our friend Jimmy, and hello to that one time I was abducted by aliens. Hi.
Hello.
That's my friend
Make sure you
Jamie.
guys
That
hit the
one
like
time I was
button.
abducted by aliens.
Hello, Jamie.
You congenially were chatting with her about rocks that time we went rock.
Oh, yes. Hello, Jamie. A fellow rock friend.
Welcome. Oh my goodness. We should get her on here and talk
Oh,
about
so
rocks.
Jamie has seen my kidney stone then, yes?
That's right. She thought that was very funny.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome, Jamie. Good to have you.
Please hit the like button on the way out. Leave a comment. If you guys just join in the chat, let us know. We'll be checking it and talking about it. Tonight we're talking about things that we wish we learned earlier. So everybody has those life lessons that they wish they would have learned earlier. And so we're going to discuss those things and chime in if you like.
Yep. And then we also have lessons that we wish we wouldn't have learned, or things too.
Oh yeah, we will end it off with things we wish we didn't learn of.
Right. Right.
So I guess I'll start. So at the bar tonight, I go to poker on poker nights, and I was asking all my poker friends what they wish they would have learned earlier, and I got a few really good answers, but I'll start with mine. Mine is definitely self-love. I never learned to love myself until I was like 38 years old. So that I regret, because I wished that I had learned to put myself first early instead of trying to make everybody else happy. Turned me into a people pleaser, which is a very hard habit to break. I'm currently breaking it. It's a hard habit to break. So it's very important to put yourself first and to love yourself, to accept yourself and love yourself, and just accept everything about yourself the way it is. Because the thing about it is that you can only give as much love as you can give to yourself. That's all you're capable of. So you can only give as much as you love yourself. So that's really important, because you might think you're loving somebody so good, and you could be loving them even more if you showed yourself the love. And so by self-love, I mean, like, not to be critical of yourself, to be confident in yourself, to know what you want, know what you don't want, to have boundaries. That's self-love, and even self-care. But I did that really good, though. But so self-care is like pampering yourself, making yourself feel and look good and all of that. But self-love was definitely mine. And another one that was my husband Matt's was failure. He wished he would have learned that failure isn't what we were taught it was. I can't quite remember his answer perfectly well, but it was kind of like my answer. So my answer is, I know who's looking. My answer is that I really don't believe in failure, because I look back on all the times that I failed, and it wasn't a failure. Always something came out of it. Always I learned something and became wiser. So I don't, even my biggest fails that were called fails, none of them were fails. So I really don't believe failure. I believe failure is just gathering of more information, of gaining more wisdom. So failure is like not even a real word to me. It's made up. They made that
Failure
shit up.
is necessary for growth. It's
Right.
necessary.
I think that it got a bad rap. Failure did.
Yeah.
So
Licking the
here's
microphone. What the heck is
yeah.
licking the microphone?
So here's some of the things that the people at the bar said. So one, my friend Mike said, my poker friend Mike, he said to appreciate what you've got. Oh, and he said
That's a
something
good
else. I'm gonna
one.
forget
That's
about
a really good one.
Yeah, to appreciate what you've got. Dang, he said another one that was really good, but I forgot it. And another one said that they would have invested in the stock market. There was two of them that said they would never have fallen in love.
Oh, never.
I know that they were bitter.
That's sad. That's a sad
Wow.
answer.
Yeah.
That's the saddest
I
answer ever. Love is the
Oh, I
most
know.
important
My
thing.
friend Mike, his other answer was to not compare yourself to others.
Love is
That's
the
a good one.
only thing that lasts, like even when people are gone.
Love is the most important thing. Love always wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so what do you guys think about those ones?
Those are
I
pretty
think
good.
those are
Those are
good.
classics.
Yep. I think those are pretty good.
I had.
I don't know about the stock market thing though. Well,
Well,
I guess if you had knowledge, yeah, like if we would have known that Amazon was going to be big, I would have been, yeah.
Everybody who says that is usually like they would have to do some kind of time travel causality, send themselves a note from the future kind of a thing. Right. Because I do have a story where I legitimately could have put a bunch of money in the stock market because I was kind of seeing a girl that her boss was a hedge fund manager. I was like, so he's like, he's just a creepy old man. He like, pinches me or whatever every once in a while, but he pays me great. So I just let him do it. He's just a harmless old man. It's like, so is he giving you like stock advice off? He's like, oh, he won't shut up. Really? What does he say? And this was like in 1994-ish, maybe a little earlier, somewhere in the early 90s. And he's like, he won't shut up and says to invest everything you got into Yahoo. I was like, Yahoo? The search engine? What are they going to make money off of banner ads on the bottom of the thing? That's stupid. Nobody's going to invest in that. Oh my God.
Oh no. Yeah.
Everybody who says invest in the stock market is usually somebody that missed out on one of everybody has a story like that. Everybody who does invest in the stock market has the same story of, oh, I should have bought at this price. It would have been so much better. Or when they sell, oh, if I'd have held out a few more weeks, it would have gone up this much more. That's every single person that's ever done anything with the stock market, including me, because I played the stock market for a while. Because the late 90s is when like Ameritrade and E-Trade and all these online trading things came up. Where that was the first time regular people could do it on their own without having like a stockbroker that they would have to pay to do it for them. Right. So everybody I knew was playing the game, and I did all that, and I ended up losing my butt. I say that I only put like $3,000 in, and then the one company I sunk like all of it in. That's the other thing. You're supposed to diversify. You're supposed to put in a bunch of different little stocks. So if one of them falls, you still got these others that may still grow. I didn't know that, but I invested in Sunbeam, which it's the company they make small appliances. No, they make small appliances like, can openers and iron things like that. Because they were just getting out of a big lawsuit thing with their old CEO who was cooking the books, making them look more important than they were. So their stock was like just tanked. It was like, literally a penny stock. It was like 10 cents a share. It's like, this company's going to come back. It's going to be great. And I sunk a bunch of money into it, and it did go up. And it was one of those, well, if I sell now, then I'll get like 3 times my money back. I'm going to let it ride. It's going to go higher. Then 9/11 happened and all the stocks crashed.
Oh, wow.
And they ended up having to declare bankruptcy because they were on the bottom rung already. So they just couldn't weather it. So they delisted all of their stuff and everything. So I, to this day, still have like 6,000 shares of Sunbeam worth zero, and I can't sell it. I can't do anything with it. It's stuck on my record because it's this unlisted zero line kind of stock that I had that just it will forever be in my record that I own 6,000 shares of Sunbeam stock or whatever it was.
Wow.
But using that as that failure as learning from your mistakes,
right?
In 2008, when all the stock market crashed again, I still had that Ameritrade account. I didn't use it for anything. I put some money in it, and I bought about 10,000 shares of Sirius XM radio stock.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
At 14 cents a share.
Oh, wow.
I sat on it till, what year was it? I sat on it for almost 9 years and then finally sold it when it was worth like $17 and something. Basically,
wow.
I made enough money to where I was able to pay off my mortgage for my little place. I have a little townhouse that I live in. I had paid off my mortgage for that, paid off the taxes, because that's the other thing that people don't tell you is when you cash out any stock, you owe taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like right away, unless you have it for over a year, you still owe taxes, but it's way lower. It's like, instead of 40%, it's like 20% or something like that. But, and of course I had the lower one, but I had enough money to pay off my house, pay off my mortgage.
That's awesome.
Pay off the taxes. And at the end of the day, it was like $600 or $700 of pocket money after everything was paid off. So that put me on the track of no debt. I have zero debt to this day. And that's how I'm able to do the things that I do, of traveling around and, thinking about buying a van and stocking it up full of stuff.
And good on you for keeping your debt that zero. That when I used to be a loan officer, I would always show people, because I had a lot of people in a sweet spot where I paid off all their debt. And I told them, if you do this and you take it seriously and you use your mortgage like it's a tool, I said, you can pay off all this debt, because I was saving people like over $2,000 a month in their bills. And I was like, now you have extra money. I said, now take that and pay extra payment towards your mortgage payment. And I said, just one payment, extra payment a month or whatever will add up to you taking like 8 years off of your loan. So I had one client that they listened to me well, and they refinanced twice. So the first time they refinanced from a 30-year fixed with like they had a really high interest rate, 7 point something interest rate. And I paid off all their debt and put them in a 15-year loan. And then they came back and then they refinanced again, and I put them in a 10-year loan, and then they were going to be able to pay their house off in like super fast. It was awesome. It was really cool to see that, or like watch people do that. You've got a good head on your shoulders there, Enzo.
It serves.
I bet like car dealers probably start drooling over people like you, because they know that you've got cash probably.
Well, again, I live off of just my military retirement, which is not a lot. I'm certainly not rich, but not having any debt, no car payment, no house payment, no loans, anything like that. After I pay my regular bill, I still have regular bills like everybody else that you're always going to have, your phone bill, your cable bill, and all that kind of, your electric bill, your gas bill, all that kind of stuff. Once all that's paid off, I've got about $1,000 a month left over. It's not really going to anything, because that was basically what was going into my loan. Like most of it was 700 of it. So that's what I've been saving up to get the van for the adventure van plan and all that. For $1,000 a month, that's still a lot. It's still a lot of me sitting around not doing anything. So I can afford that. So, and I've even recently, because it's gotten so expensive, gotten rid of a lot of things. Like, I don't need Netflix anymore. I don't need the Sling channel to watch old cable TV shows where I was like recording like one show a week.
Right.
It's like, do I really need to watch, the guys looking for treasure on Oak Island? Do I really need to pay $40 a month for that? No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way, man.
So trimming all that stuff back, now I can, save more. I can get the van quicker and other things to build it once I get it, that kind of stuff. So that's all a learning from a mistake. So, making those mistakes, it's a learning experience is how I look at it. Sure, it's not, you don't want to make mistakes, but you made that mistake because you weren't educated on it probably in the first place. So you had to learn by hard knocks. And as long as you learn from that mistake and can capitalize on it in the future, then you won't make that mistake again.
Right. Well, I think one thing I would have done earlier I would have realized how much opportunity there is in real estate for such little investment, and I would have gotten my real estate license when I was 18 years old.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's what I would have done differently, because I'd probably be. Well, I don't think I will ever be a millionaire, because I can't. Like, I don't know. I feel like I will. I don't know. It's like it's bad to have money or something. So
Right.
I'll never have.
Wait a minute. Let's unroll that a little bit.
I will never be rich. I will never be rich. Huh?
Why do you?
Because I wouldn't. Because I would never keep all of the money for myself. I would do something with it. There's too many things that can be done with it. It's not meant to be hoarded, like for one person. Like, I don't know. I feel like my body physically can occupy only so much space at once, right? Well, actually, you can only, yeah. And so there's like no like, I don't understand why people have like, so many houses that not for like, I understand like investment properties, but I don't understand houses that they don't live in, and they also don't have anybody else live in either. That doesn't make sense. So like, that's what when I say I'll never be rich, that's what I mean by, but I already consider myself to be rich. So.
Oh, there you go. That's good. That's
no,
good.
I know. And I'm rich in other ways, because I don't want all the stuff that comes along with the things that getting that much money.
Well,
yes, you
much
will,
like
Batmom,
much like how Bat Mom says here, being rich, enriching yourself doesn't necessarily mean you have a giant bank account, because
right. I'm rich in many other ways. I'm very rich in other ways.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'm learning how to grow food, and things like that make me rich.
I mean, the classic old saying of, money can't buy you happiness. It can certainly put a down payment on it, though. It's you can be pretty happy if you have a whole bunch of money.
Right. The only thing is, and most of the time, in order to get a whole bunch of money, you have to be willing to do things that, in my opinion, make you not a great person. I don't know.
Not always.
And I don't know. Not always. No, not always. But
because I've had a lot of money before, and I'm a good person.
Well, I guess it depends on how much you're considering a lot of money, because I don't think I'm not talking about a lot of money, because having like a lot, I'm talking about like a large amount of money. I don't know. I just don't think I would ever. But that's good for everybody else, because I'll be giving it to you guys if I ever have it in my possession.
Do you guys have one that's not about money?
Oh.
A lesson that you wish you learned earlier?
Yeah, I do. I wish I would have known that physically, if you stop doing things, that your body won't like be able to pick it back up very quick. What?
Oh, okay.
Stop talking.
Bat Mom.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Huh?
We don't. We feel the same way, Bat Mom. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I know what you mean too, Jara. Like, I know what you mean. There is the people with the most money around they are bad people. They're like doing bad things, and it's true. I see what you're saying.
Right, but what was I saying a second
about
ago?
Your body?
Oh, because
lose it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have stopped using my gymnastics, I would have continued doing that because it'd be fun if I could still do it.
Right. I don't know if anybody knows this, but Jara was like a master gymnast. She was like the best.
Really?
She was like, yeah.
I wasn't the best.
Yes,
I
you
was
were. Yeah, you were.
I was a competitive gymnast. I started when I was 4, and I had to quit because I had Osgood slaughter in both my knees, and they said that if I didn't quit, I'd probably have to have knee surgery. So, and my coach was a butthead. He didn't care when we get injured and stuff. But yeah, I used to train 4.5 hours every day, 5 to 6 days a week. So I used to literally just flip around everywhere I went. Like I was like a little monkey. I could walk on my hands until I was almost 40, actually.
Wow.
And then I gained a bunch of weight, and that made that go away. I bet I could do it again now. I just have to take it slow and care, because now I have like arthritic wrists.
Oh, no.
I'm all old and crackly, but I feel like I want to try to stand. I want to actually try again to start working on my hands. So I'll start by doing handstands up against the wall.
I tried to do a cartwheel the other day, and it hurt the next day.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was sore for a long time. Yeah, don't do it. I did it. I pulled it off, but yeah, it was bad.
I think we could do it if we were careful.
I
And
must have threw my whole body into it or something, because I was hurting the next day.
well, that's what happens. You lose it when you don't, use it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Stretching those muscles that you don't normally stretch. That's a problem.
I think another thing too that would have been nice to realize, but it might have made me like a butthole. But I wish I would have realized that just because people are in like a certain position, it doesn't necessarily mean that they know everything or know more than you do. Because a lot of times people, and I feel like Susie and I, this has happened to both of us a lot, when people like talk to us, like we get to where people don't really respect what we say or whatever. And so I was always listening to what everybody told me, and I was afraid to like speak my mind, or if people told me that something was silly or like a job idea was silly, I would listen instead of thinking I could do it. I wish I would have listened more to myself. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that's a good one.
For me, I was given this brilliant piece of advice before I joined the Air Force. I was 18 years old, straight out of high school, go straight into the military, all that stuff. And there was an old codger that like lived up the street from me, and where the school bus stop was, and I'd walk past this place there. He'd always be sitting out in his lawn chair under the shade. Hey, how's it going? All that stuff. And he was like, hey. One day he was like, I hear you're going into the armed forces. I was like, yeah, I leave for like boot camp next week. He's like, hey, come here. I gotta tell you something. Turns out, and again, I didn't know anything about this from this guy, but it turns out he was an old Navy guy. He had retired. He was in during Vietnam and all this other stuff. He was a CB, going. They dropped me off at a sandbar out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's like, yeah, build a runway. We'll be back in 2 weeks to pick you up, and just start off, that kind of stuff. But he was like, hey, listen, I know you're gonna go in. You're going through your boot camp, and you're going through like whatever your training base is. Then you get to wherever your permanent station is. You'll go there, and you're gonna want to hang out with guys your own rank, your own age, because that's normal. All of the older guys, higher ranking people that tell you, like, you need to do this, you need to do that, all these things, listen to them, because they're probably only 5 to 10 years ahead of where you will be right now. So whenever they give you, they tell you to do something, it's not just because there's a good reason behind it. So listen to those people that have been around for a while, was basically his advice.
Yeah.
And that helped me so much
That's good.
my career, that because especially when you're younger, when you're 18, 19, 20, even up to 25 even, You kind of think you know what the whole world's all about. You have all the answers. You know, you're smarter than that. That jerk boss of mine doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know. Honestly, they do. They've been exactly where you are right now, and the reason they're telling you to do things may not be that clear. You know, you may, once things settle down, you may be like, hey, why am I doing it this way? Because it's blah blah blah. You know, there's a reason for it. They're not making.
Can I say that I think that kind of the way that people were back then, though, is better. Like people were better back then. Like nowadays, like you can't trust like people to like actually where, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't give. It's like nowadays the advice you have to give to people is like, don't listen to anybody. Check everybody first.
There's a lot of stupid people out there
Right.
that didn't listen to whoever their supervisor was, whoever their boss is now long gone, retired, or died, or whatever it is. And so now they've just gone willy-nilly doing whatever they want.
Right.
Basically, they've been taking care of themselves, not what's important for the overall business or whatever.
Exactly. And that happens everywhere, and it's happening so bad right now. And it's like people don't even know what they're doing wrong because they're just,
They're making up the rules. They're remaking the rules as they go.
Yes, they are.
There's I feel like we're kind of going through a sea change with a lot of people right now. You can almost feel it. At least I feel it, that a lot of the stupid advice, a lot of people realize it for what it is right away quick now versus
it seems like that
they end up digging themselves into a hole they can't get out of because they listen to some idiot, that kind of thing. So it's now I feel like we're kind of turning around. It does feel like there's this weird mindset shift going on in the world really right now.
I do. I feel that.
I think that the people are starting to realize like how much things don't make sense that they're telling us all the time. Yeah. People are like, wait a minute, but and like with the whole drone thing, they're saying they don't know what they are, but don't be afraid of them. It's like, okay, that literally doesn't make sense.
And honestly, they, as far as like government type responses go, a lot of that stems from a few years ago when they had everybody locked up in their houses for a cold that was spreading around the world. They shut the whole planet down when they probably didn't need to do that. And a lot of people are still pretty butthurt about that. And now, you get, drones running rampant over the skies of New Jersey. And I actually just watched a video earlier today that was actually in Phoenix. That was very, very interesting. Yeah, we could look at that.
Was it another one or a new one, a different one, or one? Was it with the one I saw?
It's. Let me pull it up real fast. I bookmarked it here. Hang on a second. I think I bookmarked it.
I can tell you, it seems like there's been a lot of helicopters flying around in my neighborhood lately, more than there is like normally.
There's a lot of people that are seeing regular aircraft for the first time at night, I guess, and identifying them as alien drones or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, because the pictures that they take of them, the videos, it's like, dude, that's a regular aircraft. That's a plane that just took off from probably whatever airport is closest to you.
How do they not? How are they just now seeing that? Because I see that like all the time. So like all night, all day.
Well, because honestly, a lot of people just don't look up at the sky. And,
that's true.
This is I just shared a TikTok video. It says aliens in Phoenix, Arizona, December 14th. So this is just a few days ago.
Oh, yeah. This is different then.
Now, this is a drone, like a regular, like DJI, bought it at Walmart type drone from the flashing lights. And it comes up to this amber glowing orb thing.
That is that amber color. That's what I saw. That amber thing. That's what I saw. Like that glowing thing.
This is what we would classify, in the paranormal field as just a orb. it's just this shapeless, mindless, just this glowing amber thing. It's no wings. There's no engine sound. There's none of that stuff.
Right.
This is an airplane that's, flying away from them that had already gone over, just for reference.
Okay.
Now, I'm just going to let this play. We got this drone that just popped up that has this green flashing light now around this orb. Someone has taken their personal drone and buzzed it up to this amber colored orb.
Oh.
Now watch what happens here.
Wow.
Because they're getting up really close. They're
I see.
checking it out. And this person cannot keep their phone centered on it because they're so thorough. Okay, it kind of goes high. Then it dips down really close to the orb. Here it goes. It's moving in very close. It's like
oh wow,
to it, and it falls straight out of the sky.
Holy crap! No way.
Yeah.
No way. And then what happens?
That is it. It crashed.
It doesn't say what happens to the orb. Does it stay there? Did they post an update?
Nope. There's no follow-up video from this person, this court test.
That is weird. You know why that weirds me out? Oh my gosh. Because that's what I saw. It looked just like that. There was 5 of them though.
It goes out of focus for a second when it right here. And then it falls down.
Weird.
I almost wonder if that drone isn't on fire because it changes colors.
It looks like it.
Fire goes out.
Yeah, it looks like it's on fire.
That's weird. That's exactly what I saw. It was orange like that. Remember I told you guys it looked like an ember, like a cigarette, because when they went out, there was like 5
that's
of them.
common for orbs, yeah.
And then they just dimmed. It just like went out like a cigarette.
Comes in really close and bloop.
How weird. Oh my gosh, that's weird.
That's
what do you think
Somebody needs to explain that. I would be so mad if I was that person because I'd be like, hey, that's my drone. I need an explanation.
Because that's just this particular video. I've watched a lot of videos the last few weeks of drones. This one I find the most compelling.
It is because I saw that. That is what I mean, that wasn't the same day, but that is what I saw. I believe it because that's exactly what it looked like. It was orange, just like that. And just like that. I got to show my husband that video because he saw it too. That's crazy. That's scary. Because I live here.
Yeah.
And I saw that.
That is crazy.
I don't know if it's manipulated because I saw lights just like that. And it was weird because the way they came back into being, I say that because that's the way it looked like when they went out, and then when the lights like reappeared, it was like they went like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like they just came out of the sky, like, and like, I don't know, it was weird.
As Jen points out, there's lights spotted all over. There's a town just a few miles south of me where people have been stuff. They're pretty sure it's an actual drone because I can hear the rotors on it and all that stuff. So
that looks real to me.
We've got like this weird like thing going on right now where people hear there's like weird drones, so they're putting their own drones up. And then other people see their drone and get freaked out and say, oh my God, look at that drone, not knowing that they're going after this other drone kind of a thing, which may not, which in this case, I don't know, with this kind of reaction to it, that's kind of weird.
What do you think happened? Like,
I wonder, and there was no sound, like when that happened, it didn't make a sound when it zapped it or anything?
No. There have been several reports from people that have done exactly this, where they've taken their drone and they send it up, and before it gets as close as this one did, it loses power. The battery goes to 0 or goes to like 10%, so they have to try and fly their drone back before it's completely
I believe that. It doesn't necessarily mean it's aliens. It could be military technology that disables their equipment.
Right. And because whatever is my personal belief on the whole thing, at least as far as the New Jersey stuff, I can't speak to all the other things. I think it's some kind of military type exercise. Our military. I don't think it's some foreign government. I don't think they're UAPs. I don't think they're aliens. I do think that they are drones, probably U.S. made drones.
Yeah.
And they're doing some kind of exercise in that area. The thing that makes sense to me is like they would be doing testing there versus some other, Area 51 or a million different places they could be testing these drones at, but they decided to do it right there off, the coast of New Jersey and flying inland. Is that they may have like a ship out there in the water that's launching these things, and they come back, because mostly the New Jersey area sightings stop at around 11 o'clock.
Well, yeah, but why doesn't the military come out and say, though, that it's them doing an exercise?
Because they don't want, well, you see, that's the thing that doesn't make sense about all of this is, one, if it's our military doing a test of this stuff, there's other less populated places they could have done this in to not be seen.
Right. So they're
every drone that's been spotted and filmed and people see have all of their lights on, all the one side's green, one side's red, and a flashing beacon, and some of them have even like extra lights all over. Look super weird because they have them all on. That part of it, it's like it doesn't sound like a military testing kind of thing. However, there is a very narrow area in the northern part of New Jersey that is designated through the FAA as a military drone training area, which is bizarre to me because the entire northeastern corridor from Baltimore to Boston is the most congested air traffic area for airplanes in the world, because you've got so many cities and so many little airports all over the place. Why they would pick that right there, I don't believe they're looking for nuclear weapons and stuff like that, because honestly, we've got tech that can do that, and doing it from a drone is the least effective way to do it. If they were really concerned about, you could have an unmarked van or guys made up in a gas company kind of thing with a sniffer out there. Oh, we're checking the lines or whatever it is, to find these errant weapons of mass destruction and stuff like that. A drone from 1,000 feet up moving at 70 miles an hour, you're not detecting much.
I wonder if it's something like a club of guys that meet together to fly their drones and stuff, and they just decided to they want to mess with everyone or whatever, and so they all do that.
And that is one of the other possibilities. If you start ticking off everything, okay, it's American military doing testing stuff, but there's a million reasons why that would be dumb.
Yeah.
It's a foreign government doing it. Well, they wouldn't have all their lights on and stuff like that. That would just be stupid too. It's a bunch of nerds, YouTube streamers and stuff, TikTok streamers and stuff like that, just doing it for a joke and a laugh. Well, that's possible, but the drones that they're using, the really big ones, the ones they say they're the size of an SUV, is what you always keep hearing. They do have big drones, that have 6 rotors and stuff like that on them, and some even bigger. Those things are expensive, $8,000.
Right, but if you're a YouTuber who's successful and everything depends on I don't know, alien sightings or something. I don't know.
And I hear you. I agree. But nobody's putting out content to say whatever it is, because that's how they keep making money, is by having that content. Maybe they're going to wait until my prediction is probably this Friday will probably be the end of it for the New Jersey stuff. And there's no way it'll, if not, maybe Saturday and Sunday, but by especially Christmas Eve, which will be Tuesday, you will not see another drone in the sky like this, like what we're talking. And if that's the case, yeah, this is like a military thing. This is like a pop-up emergency kind of a, hey, we want to test this. We can only test it in this area where there's a lot of, airports. Maybe there's a specific test thing. They're launching them off the boat out in the ocean, and it comes out there, and they can deploy and navigate in certain areas around other buildings and other aircraft and things like this. That's part of the thing, which is dangerous. There's only been like one report supposedly of one of them falling out of the sky, and even that isn't real, I don't think.
I heard on somewhere a guy said something about something called the military has called lingering munitions. He said that they're drones that just can linger, but they can also be armed or whatever.
Yeah, they're actually using those over in the other war in Eastern Europe that's going on right now.
So why would those be over us though? Like that?
Well, and that's a very good question.
They were that.
But something like that wouldn't have FAA approved lighting on it, where everybody and their brother could see it. That's why I kind of rule out like a foreign power, unless it's specifically just to F with us.
You don't think our government would, like, I don't know, try to do something and then try to blame it on somebody else?
Yes.
You mean again?
You don't think that, you mean would they do that again? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to do that. If this isn't it, they're going to do it soon.
There's certainly somebody lying in all of this, because from the government side, they was like, oh, it's not a foreign power. We're very sure it's not a foreign power. It's but it's totally safe. Don't even worry about it. Pretend they're not even there. It's like, how the F if you don't know what it is, then how can you say it's not a foreign power? And it's not. It doesn't have a block of C4 mounted on it, and it's going to chase.
The only way you would know that is it's yours, right? Is the only way.
Exactly.
That's why they tell us not to worry, because they know that they put that shit in the air.
I think it's a training, a U.S. military training thing with a new type of, because some of the pictures of the drones themselves do kind of look like this other drone that's out there that flies like a regular airplane. It's got wings that fold out.
I saw a video of that one.
Yeah, there's a few of those videos around of that particular one. I forget what it's called right off the top of my head.
A drone that flies like a regular airplane?
It starts off, its wings are folded up, and the propellers on it are pointed straight up, so it can take off vertically. And then the wings sweep forward, and then it flies like a regular plane.
Huh.
And it's fast. It's very well for propeller-driven aircraft. So.
Why can't they just make aircrafts like drones so that aircrafts can take off like that too? Can they not just scale it or something, or is that impossible?
It's very expensive, and there's a lot because the Marines are currently using the Osprey aircraft, where it's got two giant propeller-driven engines on it, and the whole wing pivots like that, up and down. They crashed a ton of those things in training accidents because it's so different than flying a helicopter, and it's so different than flying a regular aircraft that it's so weird to try and manipulate it. It's very, there's a learning curve there that I think we've got it under control now. But we lost a lot of people in the early training days of those things a few years back.
Wow, like lost them like dead?
Oh, the military bases have been told not to fire on them, huh?
Right.
That's so weird.
And again, if it's, and that's the other thing is there's it looks like there's a very small circle of people that know exactly what this is. And they're telling everybody, don't worry about it. These are not the drones you're looking for.
Right. They just need to stop with that, because it's like, well, then tell us what it is. Because we want to know now. Because whatever you're doing something without our permission.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that is kind of scary, because sometimes, like the other day, there was so many things in the sky, and my daughter and I were like, it was making us nervous because it looked like things were going to crash into each other. And that's actually happened here in Phoenix with news helicopters that ran into each other. They were trying to film a car chase, a police chase.
It's terribly sad.
Yeah, and it crashed, and yeah, that was really sad.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, we kind of got off subject, didn't we? A little bit.
We did.
There was another one. So a friend of mine, she told me, my friend Jamie, she said her thing that she wished she learned earlier was to not sweat the small stuff. And that was the best one that I've heard from anybody. Yeah,
that's a huge one for sure. Because I sweated so much over like so many things, and I didn't need to. Yeah.
Me too. That's, and you know what? It wasn't worth it. It was not worth it to sweat that small stuff.
So what is something that you guys wish you would have never learned? Or maybe you wish you didn't have to learn? Even if it's good that you know it, I guess.
I don't wish I didn't learn it, though. But how about saying, like, what about some things that you learned that, I don't know, I've learned a lot of things that that suck. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, things that suck. What's something that you learned that sucks?
I kind of think, God, so like all the stuff we learned in school, I'm learning that it wasn't accurately taught to us. And that's
Christopher Columbus wasn't
that is to put it mildly. That is putting it very mildly.
So that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always sorely disappointed from because I guess when I was a kid, I was very naive and just assumed everybody would be telling me the truth.
Same.
Why would they make things up? And just that sour disappointment in the pit of your stomach, you're finally like, that person has been lying to me from the get-go. You know, just just that gross feeling. It's like, I was trusting this person and they're just been full of crap. They're just using me for whatever reason, you know, for whatever it is. That's just the worst feeling for me.
Yeah,
to find out that you've been double crossed. You know, you've been someone that you thought you could trust has just been using you to get whatever it is you can provide for them.
Yeah,
that's always the worst.
It is. It sucks.
You know, I have to be very, very honest, and like I've been rather disappointed in like people in that way. Like, my good friends that I still have that I've known all my life are still like, you know, my main friends, because there's been a lot of people that have disappointed me in the past. That people, because when you learn that, like, you know, not everybody is a good person, and some people like really only care about themselves. That's a hard lesson to learn.
It is.
Yeah, that is
like heartbreaking.
It really is. And I, like myself, whenever I encounter that, that's it. I am totally done with you. You do not exist to me anymore. It's gotten to the point where I did not have the best childhood. I don't have the best family. I'm one of those rare instances, apparently, because I've gotten in arguments with people about it. It's like I am happier and more successful in my life by completely isolating myself from the rest of my family.
Right.
Because I was that rare good person as far as the rest of my, which is it's a little hyperbolic, but it's my, you know, it was one of those, you have a big argument and then like you let everybody cool off after a few days, then you talk it out, kind of a thing. We never got to that stage with me.
Whoa.
With my family. That's why I live alone. That's why I'm single, the whole spiel, where it's like I've got trust issues.
Right.
We should start at the family level. So.
Yeah, and well, that's another thing too. That's a good lesson to learn, is knowing when to listen to yourself, even though, you know, people are trying to tell you, no, Enzo, it's not right. You should always call your mom every day or whatever.
And I have actually almost gotten like to fisticuffs with people about that very thing where, dude, I'm super happy for you that you had this Brady Bunch lifestyle growing up where everything was cool. And, oh, you had to learn the hard lesson. And, you then moved up into the attic like Greg Brady. That's, I'm super happy for you that you had that. I did not. I won't get into all of it, but it was not that experience. And basically when I finally did this realization of just isolating all of it, it's like, okay, if these people were like neighbors of mine, if I lived in a little housing community where I had neighbors that acted like this, I would have nothing to do with them. So why is this any different? Right. And I finally made that choice. It's like, all right, done. And my life got so much simpler and easier after that.
I wonder why people don't ever look at that like themselves when they think about something like that, right? Because like for me, I would hope to never be the person that somebody would think that about. Like that, you know what I mean? So how are people not self-aware, like to where they can alienate people that much and they don't even realize what they're doing?
Right. Or like
there's probably a lot of families that probably wouldn't have passed on so much trauma if they would have probably separated earlier or not forced people to stay together and torture each other.
And to be fair, that is extreme. And because I've certainly had to have that conversation with people. It's like, all right, if your neighbor did these examples and I would lay out real things that happened to me from my own family, it's like, would you have anything to do with it? No, I'd probably kick their ass. It's like, yeah, I get it.
Right.
But it's tough for a lot of people because a lot of people don't have that, level of barbarity in their life. And I'm super happy for them. I wish I did. I wish I had somebody that I could turn to, like that all the time, because I certainly do not now, especially now. It's just, there's been so much damage and so much time has passed that they are strangers to me now, because it's like, if you see like your best friend from, high school and 20 years later, you see that, oh geez, they kind of turned out kind of bad or whatever. It's something like that for me is, because I've had to do this separation thing because it was just, they were just too toxic.
Right.
So for me to live my life, I couldn't drop everything and deal with whatever nonsense they'd gotten into.
Right.
And a lot of people really get mad about that because they had a good upbringing. They had the good
I had a wonderful upbringing, and because of that, I can't imagine how hard it would be to like, well, you saw that, Enzo.
Right. And I also saw your reaction, of course, to how my entire family forgot
your birthday. Yeah, that made me cry. That's terrible.
Jara literally started tearing up when I was telling the story.
I couldn't help it.
And I was telling the funny version of it. At least it was funny to me.
Right. I was like, I'm sorry. My tears were just like,
I know. It's like, why are you apologizing? You had nothing to do with it. But it is one of those things that I'm super happy for anyone that doesn't have to go through that. I wish I did. I wish I could like make that connection. That's been like my downfall, like, because I've supervised people when I was in the Air Force, all that stuff. If they had family problems and stuff like that, it's like, oh my God, my grandma passed away. It's like, that stinks. Have you got that report done yet? I don't have that, but I have to remember, oh yeah, normal people have actual emotions about their family that they'll just blow them off like what I had to do. So it's important to know that's another one of those life lessons is not everybody has the same upbringing you did. Not everybody has the same reference of good and bad even.
Right.
And
not even close. Some people's are,
sometimes it's really bad. They may be an excellent worker. If you're on a job site or you're working in an office or whatever it is, they may be really good at their job, and that's fantastic. But they may be a total disaster outside of work.
Right.
How far does that extend? Is like their boss kind of a thing. It's like you have to hey, maybe you should call your mom or whatever it is. I don't think it is. If that's how they're dealing with it, that's how they deal with it, and they've got their reasons. I'm not going to bother them for that.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't tell people what to do when it comes to their kids or their parents or their religion or I don't know why people care so much about what other people do, or like why anybody would even put the energy into getting mad at you over what you do with your family. It's like, are you going to be there or something? Like what?
Well, and I could only assume, like in that particular instance where we were literally like yelling at each other and like right in each other's faces. The next step was throwing a punch, kind of a thing. And it was all about, me not calling my mom for Mother's Day. As a matter of fact, is what that particular argument was all about. It's like, no, I haven't spoken to any of my family in 15 years. Why all of a sudden would I start now? They have all of my contact information. They could reach out at any time, and they never did.
Oh, that makes me so sad. Well, they're now on a great Enzo, so lucky for us. Too bad for them.
Yeah, because sometimes your family isn't just your blood. It doesn't have to be blood relation. Your family is the people that you value in your life and that value you.
Right.
Yeah, the people that you hold dear, that is your family.
Yeah.
Because and a lot of people have multiple families. If you've got neighbors that you chat with and hang out with all the time, you didn't know each other at all when you first moved in, or they moved in, but you started getting along and you have similar interests and you do things and you hang out on holidays and all this stuff that you've kind of incorporated them into your family, or vice versa, however you want to look at it, that someone from, a few years ago is a total stranger. You don't know. You don't have to reach out if you don't really want to. That's unfortunately one of those things. Like I've got a neighbor I share a wall with in my townhouse. And just because of timing and stuff like that, he's been in there for probably 6 months, and our paths have just never crossed. I'd have no idea what he looks like or what his name is or any of that other stuff. I hear he's a nice guy. I see his truck out in the parking lot at night before he goes to work, but we just have not crossed paths. And today's society, that seems to kind of be the norm.
It is the norm, actually. Yeah. My dad's friend was talking about that today. My dad was visiting with a friend of his that they used to work at Ruston Purina in Flagstaff together for a long time, and he was asking my dad if he sees anybody from Purina, and my dad lives in Phoenix now, so he doesn't really, but Jim still lives in Flagstaff, and he said he doesn't see anybody that he worked with for all those 30 years ever. And that's just so like mind-boggling that he doesn't happen to bump into somebody, because Flagstaff isn't that big of a town. So yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I feel like for me, I don't know. When I was like 12 years old, I went on a trip to California. My parents took us to Disneyland, and we took my grandparents' motorhome. And so we stayed in RV parks, and we went to the swimming pool, and I was so happy because the boy I had a crush on at school was in the pool in California. Yeah, in an RV park. I was like, well, small world.
Those lines are starting to intersect.
Yeah.
That kind of
stuff. Like that happens to me a lot, actually, when it comes to people. So the world is like a small place for me. I meet interactions like that all the time.
Yeah, that is weird. We actually do have that happen to us a lot. Like, finding out that all of our parents.
Like today, for example, my parents. Okay, so I got to see my dad's house, the very first house he ever lived in when he moved into Flagstaff, and he was 3 years old, and there was the house next to him, and then had some people in it, and then the house next to that. So there was one house in between was my mom. They were a house apart. My mom was a baby. And then their families both moved to Greenlaw at the same time too. And they were two streets apart. So my parents were literally together like their whole lives. They were next to each other, even when they were little and they didn't know that each other existed yet. Because my dad was friends with my uncles first, and he found out that they had sisters, and he was like, "Hey, how come you didn't tell me you had sisters?" But so I thought that was interesting how my parents have always been, like back then when they were babies, they didn't know that the person they were going to be married to for 50 years was just one house down.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
The world is so big, and it's right there. It's right next to you. That is so bizarre.
Yep. And then they got together when my mom was 13. So they were literally together for their whole lives pretty much.
Wow. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It is wonderful. I don't think there are any coincidences. I think everything happens as it's supposed to. I think it's a divine plan.
I agree. I think that is also what is happening. I agree with that. I do.
So, anybody in the chat have anything they wish they learned earlier? And
Oh, yeah.
Is that all? You guys have any more?
I wish I would have learned that I like to work outside earlier, because I could have been playing in the dirt all this time. Oh, I should show you my you guys, I sent you pictures. I think I showed that thing on here last time, didn't I? That wooden thing that I said I was going to put rocks on. I'll show the audience my finished product. So let me grab it.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, the thing. Oh, yeah, that thing we found out. We didn't know what it was yet. It was maybe a rune holder.
It is, and that is what it is. It's actually Norwegian.
Oh, good call, Enzo.
It's a company, and they specialize in like wooden carved and pewter dishes. So there's my rocks, everybody, that I dug out of my yard.
It's done.
Huh? Yeah, it's done. It looks really pretty.
They actually said that's what that is, a rune holder. A rune?
No, it's not called a rune holder. It's just just a hand carved bowl, but it's Norwegian. It's a Norwegian company, because I found the exact company and it had a tag on that one, but this one didn't. So I'm assuming that's what it is, because it was like the exact same thing, because it had the same pewter like stamp and same legs, everything, except for it didn't have obviously the rocks right there. It was the pewter thing all the way around. So yeah, and then I got rocks in a bag, because I'm trying to sell my rocks on eBay, everybody.
She's selling rocks.
If you want to buy some rocks. I mean actual rocks, not crack rocks.
Not crack
rocks. Oh, and then Enzo's got his bag of rocks as well.
That's right. This is from my friend Jamie, who was on earlier. From that one time I was abducted by aliens. She gave me this at Contact in the Desert, which is an assortment of different polished gemstones.
Yeah, those were cool.
There's an actual piece of what do you call that? Wood? Petrified wood, right there. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the only thing I can identify in all of this, because I'm not very good at it.
I see some quartz crystal, some turquoise, some jade, or maybe possible. What is that one called? That green one called aventurine,
something like that.
I see a black, either an onyx or a tourmaline.
Very nice. Is there a green one in there that's like fluorescent green, or is that what is
this
on the top?
Here?
No, near the top.
Oh no. This is behind all of this. There's a
okay
card. It's has an alien on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought that was a rock. I was like, what is that rock?
Yeah.
I'm like, that rock looks like it's glowing. Huh.
But just this, she had this little envelope, and it was just a little gift to me, things that she thought that I would like, which I absolutely adore. I absolutely love it.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. I think this is a vertebrae. Or was part of one. And I'm pretty sure because I found the openings where the nerves would go through. And it does go through because I stuck a thread in there. I can thread it like the nerve would go into the.
This is my.
You got some big ones in there.
Yeah. He said biggin. That's my word, Enzo.
Biggin.
I didn't know other people said biggin.
Biggins.
I say biggin.
My favorite one.
Look at that.
Oh, the amethyst. That's pretty.
Yeah. But this is also
very
my
nice.
favorite one.
Wow, look at that sick. That's like,
that'd be so cool to learn how to have the stuff to cut stone, to be like a lapidary person.
I love my stones, dude. They make me feel good.
I want to go to one of those places where you can dig up your own stuff like that, where it's
My
just,
I went to one. I actually
you can come to my yard, Enzo. And you can dig up all you want.
There's several different mines across the states where they just like, for an hour, go out there with here's a shovel and a bucket, and whatever you dig out, you get to keep, kind of a thing. And
I think they have those here in Arizona.
Yeah, they did that when Matt was working.
Giant, clusters of crystals. It's like, my God, how did Mom get thinking of find that?
Did you find anything when you did it, Susie?
Yeah, I got rocks. They're in my jewelry case right there because we only paid for the small. You could only get the small ones, and so I put them in my jewelry case because I'm gonna make jewelry out of them. But check this one out; it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's neat. That's weird looking.
Yeah, but
I found a rock with a heart carved in it too the other day. I don't know if it's an accidental natural heart or if somebody carved it, but it's like a perfect heart, like carved into this rock. Yeah.
Wait, is it like your kidney stone? It's not exactly a kidney, but it's like a.
Oh no! It's just a rock, but there's like a heart, like I love you heart carved in it.
Is that like a tiger's eye? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Tiger's eye. Yeah, you are learning. Susie made me a necklace with tiger's eye.
Yes, because tiger's eye is good.
I don't know if you'll be able to see the heart or not. I don't know if you can see the heart on the screen, but oops, can you see it?
Oh yes,
totally. It does. That is definitely something.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked that that last night I was at your place earlier this year where we went out and we're rock hunting, just stuff around, in your local neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right.
We found the one rock that had little fossils in them.
Yeah.
A little bug from millions of years ago in it. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. This was just laying on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's stuff probably laying everywhere. I'm excited to go find some broken pottery pieces out somewhere.
I like the ones that they let you buy and then they let you like break them.
Oh yeah.
It was
I had those too, but I never broke any of them. I just bought them.
I can't catch the light on it very good.
Oh, I can see it.
It's sparkling. We can see
Ooh, how pretty.
That's got a lot of colors in it. Wow.
Yeah, there's sparkling green. Rocks are so cool. I wish there was a way I could test rocks to see if there was organic tissue in there. I'm such a nerd. I want to check my rocks, man. Yeah. I wish I had a slicer and a microscope.
Arizona's really good for rocks.
Yeah, it is.
I agree. Just screwing around for like that hour or so in that creek that we went to afterwards. It's just I wasn't even I didn't even get in the water, but I could see a million different colors of a million different rocks and stuff in there, just in the bottom. I was like trying to film a fish in there. It's like, wait a minute, look behind the fish. There's a whole, color wheel of minerals behind it.
Literally, there's literally a color wheel. Yep. You could put, I was going to do that. Actually, I was thinking about doing that with my rocks. I was going to make a rainbow because there's all different colors. It's crazy how many different colors there are. It's like, where do some of these rocks, I don't know where they come from.
You know what else I like finding? Arrowheads.
I've never found an arrowhead.
I was about to ask if you found many of those down your neck of the woods.
They're everywhere in Arizona, but I've never found one. But they are everywhere. I know other people find them all the time.
Yeah, I think mine are in the other room.
I should learn how to make some because I have a lot of rocks that could almost be arrowheads. They're like they just need to be like chipped on one edge or one side or whatever. They're like super close to being an arrowhead.
Just south of where I live.
Oh, how pretty.
Yep.
There's a ancient like archaeology type site in Oklahoma that's tens of thousands of years old, and because of the flint that's natural in the rocks around that area, they think this one particular site was like they were making weapons there, where they were making arrowheads, they were making spearheads, they were making all this stuff out of flint in this particular area where they're finding a lot of remnants of that kind of almost large scale, like, you know, hundreds of people working there making all of this stuff out of the flint that there was in that area.
Huh. Yeah, I can see that because I bet you, like your cousin was talking about how somewhere over by where she lives on the reservation, they were talking about finding all that, like those black shards or stuff like that was probably obsidian or.
Yeah, they use a lot of obsidian.
Yeah, and we have a lot of volcanism here, so we got all kinds of rocks.
Way more than I thought. I was surprised at that. Like,
yeah.
oh, really?
Oh, there's so much. I was just looking last night at Jerusalem on Google Earth, and that place has been melted too. Just like here, so many like common things between over there and over here. I really need to put together like a video or something where I compare the images because it's weird. I want to know, like, something happened there and here at the same time, and I want to know what it was.
You could be right because we really don't know what really happened.
Over there in the desert in Israel, like it's on the outside of Israel or whatever. There's this part of the desert where like the sand just suddenly turns red, and the mounds of rocks or whatever that are because it's like sand, but then there's like plobs of big rock, and the rocks, like the plobs or whatever, they look like melted castles in the middle of a sea of red sand. Literally, like it literally looks like that. It's so crazy looking. I can't believe that's even our planet. I was like, wow.
Yep. There are some ancient archaeologists for that particular area. Bye.
Bye. Oh.
There's a rare sighting in the background.
That was a UFO. That was an alien.
But it's like a Bigfoot sighting. You can tell people what you saw, but nobody's really going to believe you.
Right.
But that particular, that general area around Israel and in Syria and places like that, there's a lot of ancient archaeologists that they do note that there's a lot of areas where it's obviously like stairs going up a place.
Oh yeah,
melted. It literally looks like it's just melted glass. Yep. Is what it looks like.
Yep.
That the theory for some of that, and it's just a theory. It's not a thing, necessarily, but just because how do you explain that? Is of solid rock just melting like into a glass kind of a structure that, tens of thousands of years ago, there may have been like an airburst of like a meteorite or something like that directly above it, and all the heat and all that other stuff just glazed everything and everybody there.
There's actually evidence that it didn't happen that long ago, though. Like not
12
even a little bit
12,000
that
years
long.
ago. Yeah.
No, well, not. So I was watching this 3-hour presentation that this archaeologist was doing back. It's from 2016, and he was talking about how like the narrative that they give us doesn't match up with the data that they find out in the field, with the architecture, with like there should be certain periods that should be superimposed on top of each other, but they're not.
Right.
They're next to each other. So like they happened at the same time. So he thinks that what was done was they put that all these cataclysms happened over, and they added time to the narrative, because in this guy's opinion, like our current history, he thinks that we should take 700 years off of our current history, and that's our actual date. He thinks they added to the timeline, because the dating doesn't, the dating on stuff and everything doesn't match what they say, and then stuff isn't as old. A lot of stuff isn't as old as they say it is. So I don't know. I just know that to me, it all looks this. It looks the same. It looks like whatever happened over there also happened over here, and like I don't know what can do that. That creates that type of. It has to be something that melts it from above. So it's not like a forest fire or like a, it has to be like, like an electrical storm or something.
Well, there are a few theories out there about that kind of stuff. No, it's more of like if you go into the electric universe kind of stuff, which I mean, I get it. There's some people that argue against it, and they're valid. Some of their stuff is kind of valid, but the evidence that we're finding certainly does support these kind of things where alignment of planets and certain solar activity at the same time, either the sun put out this, wave of energy that directly hit just a very specific area, for like a few miles across, or everything's electric kind of a thing where there's each planet has like a charge built up into it, and when they get close to each other, a charge will jump from one to another. Basically, lightning that's like miles wide. That would basically strike in some of these areas. That explains why like these melted glass kind of areas that go, stretch over miles wide and stuff like that. But we've never seen that kind of thing. Because the theory being that this kind of alignment or this kind of design only happens every 12,000, 24,000 years, which 12,000 years ago, of course, we're going back to the famous apocalypse, basically the end of the ice age for us, from our current point of view. That that your younger Dryas type area where either something immense impacted the planet right where the ice sheet was over North America and Northern Europe and destroyed all that, where it all melted off into the oceans, the sea levels rose, blah, blah, blah. That's where we get all of our flood myths and things like that through various cultures, not just the Bible. That's not just a Bible.
I actually think that really happened, but it's just me.
Well, it certainly does kind of point towards that, and that's what we see with the Ancient Apocalypse special that they've done on season 2 on Netflix, where something big happened to our planet 12,000 plus years ago, and it affected the entire planet. And that's where basically everything got reset, because if you had, if there's giant, ice glaciers over all North America and most of Europe, and all of that stuff melts pretty much within a 100-year time span, melts very quickly. That's going to cause the oceans to rise several hundred feet, which if you look at even the world today, a lot of the, ancient cities, ancient being, a few thousand years old, are all port cities because that's how they grew to become a big city, is through trade and stuff like that, by running boats in and out and, running around the oceans and such like that. If all of those got covered up by 100 feet of water, those towns, all of those cities are just gone. 12,000 years ago, when it was so much lower and all that stuff, there could be giant cities that were much like what we have today, like London and Rome and Venice and all these places that are right on the ocean. They're ocean ports. If you added 200 to 300 foot of water on top of it, they're gone. All those people are displaced. All the trade is gone. All of that stuff. And basically you're resetting the whole civilization, where the only people that survive are the people that happen to live up in the mountains at the time, higher ground. So what, our ancestry could be way older than what we think.
Well, this guy was also saying that the way it looks is, it looks like there was he called it what do you call it? A giant monster or a giant bee. He called it something, and he didn't allude to what he meant by calling it that, but he was like, the way that the pattern of the destruction, he's like, it looks like something intelligent destroyed like a specific part of something, and then went away and then came back to finish it off because it didn't get it all. And so it went around to try to get it from the other side, and it hit the other side. And so it like hit, and it left a part in the middle that was like fine. And he said that he was like, all these things make it seem like something that did this wasn't like it, but he was like, I don't know what would do that, but whatever. He was like, it seems like it was something that was acting with intelligence and specifically destroying very specific people and places and parts of things. So I don't know.
And that is one of those ancient lore kind of a things where you had the people of Mu, which was the island continents out in the Pacific Ocean, versus Atlanteans, which was over in the Atlantic side, where they had some kind of a war at one point, which ended up, knocking down all the ice, which ended up flooding all of these places out. And
there's a Hopi legend about Mu and Atlantis. So that's interesting because Hopi, like on the Hopi land, their walls look all melted, just like over in Israel. Wow. And yeah, there's a story about Mu and Atlantis. So and they had energy weapons back then.
There's giant chunks of our ancient history that goes back to those dates that we just don't know.
Well, there's giant chunks of our recent history that we don't know also.
That's true too.
I would believe the Native Americans probably.
I really wish I knew somebody that could tell me all of these stories.
Right. Me too.
Because I'd love to hear every one of them.
Yeah, we probably know people that could.
I don't know if they'd let some poor dumb white guy like me they would tell these stories to, because I would love to hear all of them.
I know, me too. Actually, I would very much like to hear that. I know, I hope I get to, my cousin said that if they go to an initiation that they might take me with them. That would be super awesome. I would be honored to see.
It is. Yeah. I got invited one time. I was invited to a very sacred ceremony for the Hopis, and it was super cool.
Yeah.
Almost got kicked out, but it was still super cool.
What did you almost get kicked out for?
Because because you're supposed to dress really conservatively.
Oh.
And my legs were showing and stuff.
Oh. Huh.
But they let me stay. They put an apron on me though. They covered me up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
That's cool.
And I was in heaven. I just loved hearing about all of the culture and all of their things and stuff. Like by the end of the day that I was spent there I was like, I want to live here. I need to marry one of your cousins. And the ladies just looked at me and they went like this. You'll never make it here.
Oh no. Oh no. Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, I feel there's a lot of our history, just as humanity, that's just lost, because I mean, I get it. You know, evil white guys came in and wiped out a lot of people, and all of that. But you know, my kin didn't have anything to do with it. My kin didn't immigrate to the U.S. until just before and just after World War One. So my kin didn't have anything to do with it. I would love to hear your stories.
Right. Well, and I mean, none of us really know anything beyond what we have experienced in our lives. Like, so beyond our grandparents, we can't really say for sure anything, right? We can't. We really can't. It's all
We're going off
hearsay.
other people's beliefs about it, you know, where we learn from other people's beliefs. That's the history that we learn. We don't really know all of it.
Right. And even here
We
in
don't really know
America,
the true part.
probably especially here in America, what they teach us how things went in school, they're teaching us from a narrative that they want us to believe in and understand, not from like what actually happened.
They are.
So yeah, it's it's unfortunate. And I think here in the United States, I think there's a lot of suppression and done so that people don't find out who they are. Because
Oh, I
like
agree.
in my example, like how they don't, you know, I can't get my birth certificate. Like why make laws like that? That prevent somebody from knowing who they are. That's weird and wrong.
You know what? What if you're somebody super, super important? Like, don't
Well,
let her
I
find out
am
who
somebody
she is.
super important, and so are
Everyone's
you,
super
and
Yeah, you
so is
are.
Enzo. We're all somebody super important.
We're not a bunch of nobodies.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder that if they check people that get when they do their DNA to see who is like lizard
They do.
people or
I
whatever.
believe that they do. All that 23andMe, don't do it, man. They're just looking for the chosen ones. They are. Just kidding. We're all chosen ones. But yeah, they're looking.
I was in the Air
now
Force
they
for
have your
24
shit.
years. They got my DNA. They know who I am.
Yeah, they
Right?
got
They
yours.
have my DNA too, and my fingerprints because I've had to have my fingerprint card for like a long time.
Oh, I guess they have mine too, huh?
Huh? Yeah,
I guess
I'm
they have mine
super
too then.
easy to verify who I am. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's that one girl. She's so annoying."
That's her.
Is that the rock girl?
I know
No,
that's her.
they
Yeah.
ain't letting the rock girl in.
Oh, you know what my dad's friend called me? Because I guess they used to call me when I was little. They used to call me Smurf. He's like,
Smurf?
"What's up, Smurf?" Yeah.
I remember that. Was it Jim Alderete?
Alderete, yep, called me Smurf. Do you remember that?
I
know.
remember that.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that until he said that. I was like, whoa, I'm a Smurf.
That is
I
so
wonder
cool.
if Rico Alderete is still a river guide on the Colorado.
He
I'm
was?
be like,
That was my very first boyfriend.
yeah, he was. He was a river guide. And then my dad said last time they talked to Rose that he was getting his pilot license too.
What?
So then my dad's all, maybe he's going to have his own touring company. And I was like, well, you better give me a free tour then, because I want to go down the Grand Canyon.
We don't know anything about it. No, I don't know. Last I heard, he was living in his truck or something.
Oh,
But I don't know. See, that just goes to show you we don't know. We don't even know.
we don't know. No, we don't. I know I was a Smurf.
All right,
And
well, let's just end it on a positive note. You guys got anything good going on coming up?
Oh, I have a job interview on Monday
Ooh.
Good job.
at Goodwill. I'm excited.
That's gonna be fun,
it's
dude.
for a retail merchandiser, so I'd be going through all the stuff and getting it ready to put on the floor. So that I'm like, that's the best job ever.
That is
Yep.
a cool job, dude. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited.
Yeah, you get
I'm
to see all
super excited. It'd be so neat to go to a job that is like a fun job.
Yeah. That's always neat. That's cool. I'm excited for you. That's great.
I wonder what they do if they ever come across something like really valuable, if they just put it on their online store or if they like sell it at private auction or something. You know what I mean?
You'll
Like if
find
you,
out when you start.
because I'm sure that's happened before. And you wouldn't just put that in a store, a regular store. I'll have to ask that
Or maybe
question.
they don't. Maybe, I mean, somebody's got to. I don't know. You're
I'm
about to
gonna
find out, though.
She told me to have questions because they like that. So I'm just gonna ask if they have a process. I've always wanted, because as a person, as a customer there or a shopper of Goodwill, like I buy things like on their online store at auction before. I bought like jewelry. Like I bought a violin the other day from the auction. I won it for $10. Yeah, and it's a handmade. It was handmade in 2018 for a music store here. And it's all written on the tag on the side, and it came with a case and a bow and everything. And yeah, $10 I got it for. So
my Stradivarius.
Yeah, I wish. I wish it was. Yeah, those are worth a lot of money. Violins are people post their violins for a lot, thinking that I think that people automatically think violins are worth something without like checking first to make sure it's authentic. Because some violins, I'm like, wow, they want like $800 for this violin. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
So yeah, I'll have to let you guys know if I get the job or not. And I'm still a realtor, so I'm just also a Goodwill person, hopefully.
That is awesome, dude. Awesome news.
Goodwill.
A Goodwill person and a rock digger. I'm a rock digger as well. Always a rock digger.
Well, good. Well, I guess we can end it on that, and I will get with you guys before next week. Oh, wait, next week? Is it Christmas?
Christmas is Wednesday, so it'll be the night after Christmas.
Oh, we can have a show still. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We can have a show still.
All right. Well, I'll think of something cool, and or somebody else will, and I'll steal their idea.
Works for me. You don't have to steal it. We'll just give it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope everybody has a great rest of their week and enjoy.
I know.
Love
My brain
yourself.
hasn't called me. Yes. Everybody have a wonderful night.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Right.
Check out the stock
Don't
market.
stop moving your body. Move your body until you can't.
Move it or lose it. So there's a lot of good life lessons we went through today.
Listen to your elders. They've been here before.
And pay attention to yourself too.
Yep.
You know what else? One more thing. Like, I wish I would have known that there really is no permanent record that they always talk about. That'll go on your permanent record. There's none. There's not.
Oh, that's funny.
Right. So I'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody. If you're new here, please hit the like, subscribe, tell your friends about it, share it, comment, do all the stuff. And thank you.
Don't forget Susie's specials too that she's running right now. Yeah. Did Jesse ever call you, Susie? Did the Jesse guy?
Nope, I didn't get a call yet.
Darn it.
But yeah, we got the Christmas calm down and we got the New Year's New You coming up right after that. It's the same special, 20% off. So come and talk to me.
You should, right, everybody.
Guys. Oh, look at my cat. Okay, bye.
Bye.